Do you remember the old Caesar games on the PC? They were around in the mid-90s and you were essentially a Roman governor tasked with building up a town or city, and there were also a few missions where you had to repel invaders. I personally loved them. In fact, I'd say Caesar 3 still holds up today as a great city building experience. And Hadrian's Wall, for me anyway, reminds me so much of that game. So much I'd say Hadrian's Wall basically is a city builder on the tabletop, albeit a bit of an abstract one, as essentially it is just a flip and write box ticking experience over 2 sheets of paper. The game itself, looking at it, very much feels like an exam. In fact, my wife asked me what the hell I was doing when she first looked at it, as she thought it was some exam I was taking for work at home. Glancing at it, she was very confused, as it is just 2 sheets of paper filled with great artwork, lots of empty boxes, a few cards, and the odd resource token here and there. The game from a glance looks extremely basic, but in playing it, the exam comparison is pretty valid, as you only need to maximise all your resources and people to build a wall section, repel the Scots to keep the populace happy, and utilise all the major civilian factions to get the bonuses that you need to win the game. And this small little game can not only be extremely addictive because of that little juggling act with your wealth of options on the board, but it can also be very bloody difficult, as learning this game is relatively easy. Use a resource to tick a box, get reward, or push towards a further reward down the line. But mastering this game takes a lot of trial and error and ability to work out how best to become basically Robute Gilliman and min-max your way to glory, as this game can be unforgivingly punishing if you make just one mistake on one of your runs, say on turn 3, a mistake that you think might be very minor, but it will end up being so costly that you will end up failing to win the game or campaign level in the end. And yes, this small box game has a 15 level solo campaign available on BGG, and I believe it might be included in some of the new rejigs of this board game, but don't hold me to that. And that campaign is sodding blooming difficult. So difficult, I've yet to pass the 4th chapter of it yet after about 5 tries. But this game is also so amazing that I'm not ready to give up. And I'm determined to pull up my boots and beat it one night, and that's a testament to the addictive puzzle this game offers with its challenge, as I always get caught asking myself different questions whilst playing. What faction do I focus on? The market for goods, the arena for gladiators, priests for the basically overpowered gardens, always a must. Baths to aid with descent if you're neglecting defence, or military for scouting and good soldier defence, or do you ignore the right columns entirely and focus on the city building and walls where you build landmarks and have great production, hotels, workshops and roads to get more production meeples and civilians? There's a huge wealth of options available to you realistically from the second round, as the first round tends to always just be a standard, let's build out a certain way to lay down the foundation for the next 5, with you not really straying much from the same old standard path, as you don't have that many starting resources or open areas on the 2 bits of paper. But from round 2 onwards though, those wealth of options will suddenly open up to you once the foundations have been placed, and you will be massively overwhelmed on your first couple of players, as you will inevitably try to go for a jack of all trades approach, where you try to do a little bit of everything but end up mastering out and realise you've got a middling score of about 40 or 50 points because you failed to prepare before each round properly, and they have a grand strategy that often needs to be changed each round depending on your given resources from the flip of a card. I admit I often felt like I was being screwed over by the randomness of the card draw, as I had planned to go down a certain route but suddenly core, and I began to realise that's not the game's fault, it's mine, as I were giving the puzzle aspect of this game the respect it rightfully deserved, as great players don't moan about what they've been given, they utilise what they've got correctly and go home and bang at you of the Julii. Taking time at the start of every round to plan out all your intricate moves is great. People often say that's what makes Gloomhaven and Mage Knight special. Well, it's right here on these 2 sheets of paper. You have to strategize or else you're doomed to fail or be mediocre, and all this happens in a box ticking game that realistically takes about a half hour to an hour to play, along with like 5 minutes setup and teardown. Does it have issues? Of course. This is a solo Oni game in all but name. Yo, rock up to your game night busting at this box, hand over a few sheets of paper to your mates and say, have at it. And you'll think you're in secondary school again taking your GCSE, as there is no interaction on offer whatsoever whilst the game is going on. This is a solo exam where you try to maximise your points, so you're literally sitting down and doing a tick boxing multiple choice exam alongside other folk. You could pee about and talk strategy all you like whilst playing, but for me, it would be a little bit boring playing a solo game with other folk around you. Just sodding play to them and enjoy your little puzzle game on your own. I also believe there's certain options on the board which are a little bit overpowered and force you to always take them if you want to win, like the gardens, which basically ups everyone's track, the hotels and workshops, which give you more meeples, and I wouldn't shy away from landmarks or the road, like Ralph Cifaretto. They can be pretty good earners over the course of a game if you get them early enough. The campaign, though, for me is also pretty much essential, as this is what's pulling me back in consistently. If this game, they have a solo campaign, it would just be a tick boxing, beat your own score style game. And from my perspective, it would have been played basically once or twice and sold at that point, because I often find that style of game has no longevity with me. But I will say this, after I've completed the campaign, I will probably be done with this one, and I doubt I would ever come back to it after that point. The campaign's puzzle, with its varied missions and structure, is what's keeping me around. And this, for me, do bring out that one and done style feel like other Garfield games do. I'm talking, of course, about Raiders of the North Sea or Architects of the West Kingdom, which have a great one and style done structure and gameplay, which means I can put it on my shelf for 6 months and play it again at a later date, still having a great experience whenever I do so. Hadrian's Wall do elect that response from me. This game is like a puzzle book you'd buy on holiday. Once you get back off it, the novelty wears off and it gets dumped in a corner never to be seen again. Only this is a bloody expensive puzzle book, as it can often be seen priced at 50 bloody quid online, and that price for me is way too high. I got this for 20 quid, or it was 25, I can't remember, but I got it second hand. That feels right for this game. That is essentially 2 pieces of paper you laminate up and then dry erase marker play with to get more longevity out your sheets of paper. I will, in completing this campaign, probably get 30 to 40 plays out of it. You can play every night because it's so easy to set up. I could play it on a coffee table in the living room with the kids around me. But without that campaign element, I would honestly be deeply disappointed and feel like this one is a bit of a dud. The campaign is essential for enjoyment for me, but I know that feeling will wear off once I am done with it. And there is no reason to ever play it again at that point from my perspective, so I'll try and get my money back, which at 25 quid should easily happen. So I recommend you shop around for this one second hand, don't buy it brand new, and for that reason it kind of gets a 3 out of 5 for me. That's all I got to say for now, so tatty bye.